Oh, kitty, you're hurting him. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Ah, ooh, your mama way. Ah, ooh, your mama way. Good morning. Welcome back to my garden here at Sandals and Steel Toes. My name is Lex and I'm really happy to have you here today. We're having a bit of a drought. We're not having any rain. This whole summer we've had hardly any rain. So I'm a little jealous of those of you in areas where you're getting like all the rain right now. I would love for you to share that with us here. It's Monday, July 6th. Just got over a long 4th of July weekend. Really nice time. We got to see a lot of friends and family that we haven't seen for a while. It was really good to catch up with everyone. I'm having my coffee. Have a nice day cup. This sunrise view through the trees is one of my favorite part of days when I am out here. It doesn't take long before it's hot. There are changes this week that you'll see. As much as we all wish we could be the best gardener and have the best garden and have our plants grow without issue, it's just not possible. And if it is for you, you are so lucky. Had a fair share of pest issues, which I have talked about, share of plant diseases and things of that nature, and now this drought we're having with like no rain. And I still feel like even with my daily watering, things are struggling, especially like the squashes that should be a lot bigger by now are still pretty dinky. It can't all be perfect, and then we're not gonna have a perfect garden, and that's okay. It's just coming out here and just enjoying the space and having the beautiful background that I do have. And even if things are drying and brown and full of bugs, I mean, it's still a nice place to be. Just having that, it makes it worth it. Maybe in a similar position, struggling, feeling kind of down that things aren't working out the way you wanted them to, or you're not seeing the harvest that you wanted to at this point. I think everyone experienced a little bit of that in some way, and it's okay. Don't give up. Just keep doing it because you love to do it. Once the garden becomes work and something you're happy doing, just pause and reevaluate why you're doing it. There are things that you will see in this garden tour that aren't pretty. There are weeds. The grass hasn't been mowed in here yet. You know, I have a lot of pest damage on things. I try to get what I can done in my day. I'm a full-time working mom, 2 boys, and trying to do a YouTube channel and have this beautiful garden, a big yard, and I do what I can in my day, and what doesn't get done is okay. All right, and let us do our 5th garden tour of 2020 today, July 6th. Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna start this garden tour, I think, checking out the tomatoes. They are really growing really well, and actually I am the most pleased with how the tomatoes are turning out. I've had actually the least amount of issues with the tomatoes, which is surprising to me, so knock on wood that doesn't happen, that I don't have any problems. And I just want to comment that having these row covers that I put down on these rows, it was a cheap landscape fabric. It was like $5 a roll. It was on sale at this place called Busy Beaver, which is a local like hardware store. It's been great about keeping the weeds out. I've had really minimal anything to do with these tomato rows, other than pruning and tying them up, which again, I have been busy and haven't been able to fit all the things in, and so the tomatoes are not pruned as well as I would have liked them to be at this point. They're getting a little bit crazy. I do have to tie some things up, but that's just life, and that's how it goes. So let's check the tomatoes out. So these cherry tomatoes are wild, and they are growing so tall already. This fencing that I have here is probably about to the top 3 feet high. So I have to put some kind of support up here, whether it's another piece of fence or some twine, because these tomatoes have now surpassed my little fence and are bushing out. I mean, it's crazy. Got some baby maters growing here. Sweeties. Oh, they're just so adorable. These little ones are indigo apple cherry tomatoes. They'll make like a purpley cherry tomato. They're really good. Smaller, they had a later start. And all of the Romas are doing pretty good too. They are getting quite a bit bushier than I had wanted to at this point. And the basils I've got mixed in here are huge, and I need to pick them. Oh, hey, we got baby bromas coming. It's the first I've seen that. Look at that little guy. But getting your face down in here in the tomatoes, it has such a great smell. Isn't that pretty? It's one of the beefsteak ruckers that need to be tied up. It's all flopping over. And a lot of a curly leaf problem on this one here. This seems to really be the only one that's having such a struggle, and I'm not really sure what's going on. Haven't tried to diagnose the issue yet, because this is the only one that I'm seeing that's having these curly leaves every day. They're all curled up like this. So it could just be this one specific plant, but the rest of them, they don't have that problem. Got a little fruit setting. So we have some slicers come in. Lightning bugs like to take refuge in the garden during the day under a leaf. I leave them alone. I like them. This one here is Baker Creek Big Rainbow Heirloom. I've got 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. And these actually are bigger now than most of the other tomatoes. And I started these plants a whole month later than the cherries and the ruckers and the beefsteak. I started these at the end of April. And they had a really slow start, but they are bigger now than a lot of the other ones. So they really picked up and they caught up and surpassed. So I'm really pleased to see that, and encouraged to know that something started in late April did so well and grew so quickly once we started to get that heat that it really needed. And it's starting to have some blossoms, so I'll be setting fruit soon. These 3 other ones on the same row are beefsteak, and they're just a whole lot smaller. So they're Dark Galaxy, also Baker Creek Heirloom, which I started at the end of April, and they are a little bit smaller, but not too much far behind than the ones over here, which were started in late March. Things will catch up pretty quickly. Jersey Devils are coming along. They're on the smaller side still. Tomatillos are looking really cute. I've never grown tomatillos. I can't even say that I've ever eaten a tomatillo, So I wasn't really sure how they grew and what that looked like, but now I'm finding out, and they're really cute. And you do have to have 2 tomatillo plants so they can pollinate, 2. And they've got flowers set, so we should be seeing something here pretty soon. Quick check on the sunflowers. They're getting there. Okay, I'm 5'10". This one here is getting close. I've got maybe a foot on it, if that. So these are gonna be huge. The sunflowers are probably one of the best things growing in this garden, besides the raspberries. So the Jacob's cattle bush beans are really doing well now. I've got a lot of flowers set and little beans starting to produce here. So these are looking really nice. The peppers, however, peppers aren't doing good. The peppers have some kind of disease going on. I've been trying to treat with copper fungicide and picking off all of like the really yucky leaves, and I'm not having much luck. I did have to pull a couple peppers out yesterday, and I think I'm gonna have to pull most of the rest of them. It's not good. You see all those nasty leaves down there? Those have fallen off on their own. So these are the bell peppers, and they have a really nasty, I believe this is a bacterial leaf spot infection. It could be another type of infection. If you know what this is, please leave a comment and let me know and tell me what you've done to treat this, if you've had any success. I have been picking off the bad leaves that I see and treating with copper fungicide, which, you know, it did seem to prolong the life a little bit, but every day I come out here and they're just a little bit worse, and the fruits are starting to fall off, and I think I'm at a point where I just need to pull them out completely because they're looking pretty terrible. So far, the cayenne peppers look pretty good. They have just started to get some spotting on the leaves. So whatever this problem is definitely spreading. The inferno peppers, they seem to be pretty dang hardy because they are producing really well, as you can see. Huge peppers on there. And the leaves for the most part are okay. There's a couple yucky ones that I gotta pick off. So the infernos seem to be a lot more resistant to whatever is going on in here. These are the Courbachi peppers. So I started these. They looked better, but they're starting now to get some disease down there. And even the banana peppers that I had started myself, those ones look okay for the most part, but again, down at the lower leaves, they're starting to get spots. Get in here and just pull out all the really yucky ones to save what's left. So that's just like one of those things I was saying, you know, you work hard to get your garden going, and you want the best garden you can and have a great harvest, but stuff's gonna happen and diseases are gonna come out, and you just have to deal with it as best you can. But at some point you say you gotta call it a loss and pull it before everything gets sick. So that's kind of where I'm at with these. So, local farmers markets, you should be seeing me for peppers very soon. While I'm over here, I will show you this mess of my children's garden. Let's face it, they haven't shown much of an interest in the garden. Probably like it more once things start producing, but at this point it's just become a mess. But I kind of like it in the same regard. So this is a cherry tomato plant. I didn't tie this up. I had intentions of tying it up and pruning it when we all first started here, and I just never did. So now this is turning into a cherry tomato plant that will be vining on the ground. So we're just gonna let it go. I mean, it's wild. That's fine. We're just gonna let it go. And we have all kinds of runner beans climbing up this fence and over. Giant, massive sunflowers already. Training this sugar baby watermelon to go outside of the jungle so it can get some sun. It's doing pretty good. Yeah, the carrots in here look really nice. I haven't thinned them or anything, and I think all the shade from everything else is helping them not bolt, so that's kind of cool. pretty nasturtium blossomed yesterday. And this awesome zucchini plant. This is the best zucchini plant we have. But still nothing has produced on it. Actually, none of my zucchinis have produced anything. So even here, I've been dealing with that blossom end rot. I was waiting to see what was gonna happen with this one. And the plant here looks pretty healthy overall. So I'm not sure if it's a pollination issue or if it's calcium deficiency. I feel like we should have been having more zucchini and yellow squash by now, but we haven't. Oh, what is that? Kind of nasty mold growing in the mulch. All right, so a lot of my raised beds are looking a lot different, a lot cleaner, a lot emptier. And this one was filled with broccoli, and I pulled those out yesterday. They had been riddled with cabbage worms. I harvested what I could. I cleaned them as best I could. After even soaking, I couldn't get the worms out. So really the whole harvest of the broccoli has been pretty much wasted. So we will try again for fall for broccoli. Nasturtium, how pretty. The beans, the Kentucky Wonder beans, and I've got pinto beans in here, are doing fabulous. They are filling this arch right up at the top on this one. Oh, this guy's even crossed over. And then this side is taking a little bit longer, I think, as the competition probably with the asparagus for nutrients, and also it's more shaded on the side. I mean, Japanese beetles really start to dig into these leaves. And I do have some Japanese beetle traps set up. So hopefully those help. More weeds in this bed, so bear with me, folks. Our KJ melons, Jari melons. So they are really starting to grow now. They had a slower start as well, but with this heat this week, they've been taken off. Mr. Raj, honeydew melons, same. They've taken a little bit of time, but they are growing. Cucumber beetles on the melons and the cucumber plants now too. So again, more pest problems. You know, it is what it is. I treat as I can, and it's just gonna happen. We have a total Charlotte's Web scenario happening on my pig. I don't see mama. So there's this pretty gnarly looking spider, big spider that was on her the other day, and now inside of her ear is a whole web of babies. Oh my gosh. You see him moving in there. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave them because, you know, garden spiders are not a bad thing. They'll help eat up those bugs that I don't want. There's mama. I don't know anything about spiders. If you know what kind of spider this is, put it in the comments. Let me know. Is this a friendly garden spider or a foe? Should I get rid of the babies or leave them? I'm just gonna leave her for now. The Swiss chards still holding on and doing really good. Making these massive leaves. I mean, look at that. Huge leaves. I've been using them for lettuce wraps and just salads. Lightning bug refuge. Cauliflower that we had let go to seed. Lucas and I were curious what that would end up looking like, so here is that. So we're just gonna let that go. Zinnias are starting to bud up. This bed here is looking different too. So yesterday I harvested the last of the peas and pulled them all out. They were done. They can't handle this heat. And the beets, I'm starting to harvest some beets. There were some little tiny baby beets that I've been harvesting and saving the leaves for salads. And same with the carrot. The cucumbers on this side, which will climb the trellis, they are finally starting to do something. They have been really slow to start growing, and this week they've really been growing quite a bit. Again, they like the heat, and we've been having plenty of that. So I also wanted to get this whole bed kind of cleaned up a little more, especially with the peas, to allow more sunlight to get in here to get to the cucumbers. The peas really took up a lot of light. All right, our sugar baby watermelons, and they are also really loving the heat and starting to grow well. And I've got a little baby on here. He's so cute. And been trying to teach this guy to climb up on his side of the trellis. I've got four watermelon plants on here. That's probably too many. I realized that. And you know, when you're planting things and they're so tiny, you're just like, oh, they're so little, can't take up that much space. So I'm watching it. If it starts to get too crazy, I'll just keep it pruned really well, or I will learn for next year not to plant things so closely. I'm one of those people that, you know, you tell, hey, you should do this, and this, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. Sometimes you gotta fail to learn what to do. So this side of the bed, again, all the broccoli has been taken out. I've left the Brussels sprouts and the cabbage for now. I don't know how long they're gonna last. They don't really look like they're doing much of anything other than collecting caterpillar poop. Potatoes are still doing really good. So I'm happy for the fact that I did use the fabric row cover in here. No weed problems really. So at this point, I'm really happy still with how it's working. We'll just see how that goes when it's time to start harvesting, because I think that's going to be challenging to harvest the potatoes, and that's going to be in about 3 weeks or so. I'll start to harvest potatoes. End of July and early August is when I should be harvesting these. This asparagus fern that's taller than me. Can you see that? It's huge. I don't remember them being so big before. 3rd year asparagus. Sweet potatoes look amazing. They also love the heat. They're vining out now, so this is what they do. They shoot off these vines out. I'm really happy that they recovered after the bad stint with the tortoise beetle. You can still see the damage down here from the old leaf. Okay, I think it's pronounced delicata. I had been pronouncing it delectica, and I apparently didn't look at the syllables well enough. But these are doing really nice. Delicata. An okra here that had gotten some good pest damage, I think from cucumber beetles. I've been seeing them on there, but it looks like to be recovering. So cucumber beetles, they can do some damage, mostly on seedlings, but if it's a bigger plant, usually can recover. They don't decimate it. And then these are acorn squash, so these are also getting big. Butternut here. Canada crookneck, so they are just starting to vine and climb. Variety pack section. These are tiny. I'm not quite sure about what's going on in here. I have an acorn delicata, whatever that thing is behind it. I'm thinking maybe just pulling these out and trying to start some muskmelons over here. I have some muskmelon seeds that I've saved and dried out. And I still have time, I think, to plant them now even. I've got around 90 to 100 days left before frost, so what do you think? Can I grow a muskmelon here? Oh man. This. Let me tell you about this. The sun's over the tree. So this is my birdhouse gourd trellis. It's 2 plants. And for the longest time I thought, oh, that's cute. Excuse me. I thought, oh, that's cute, you know. It's climbing, it's fine. Go back and look at other tours, you'll see what I mean. Like, it was cute, it was doing its job, but all right, in the last week, this has like filled out. It's crazy. It's this crazy mass of a jungle. So I totally want to grow these on my arch trellis next year. This is the type of growth that I want to see by this time, at least on one of my trellises, to be completely covered. I am loving this plant. Like, it is just wild and beautiful and awesome. So yeah, this is 2 right here. It's insane. And these are the flowers that the birdhouse gourds put out. And yeah, the Japanese beetles like them. The cucumber beetles also like to eat them. Look! Got some baby birdhouse gourds coming on. I mean, and they're everywhere in here. There's like so many of them. This is the best squash I have so far. The vines have climbed up and over. When it's time to mow, I move them out of the way and then I put them back. They're just, wow. This is definitely the coolest thing so far, I think, that I have. Patty pan squashes. They put out a lot of flowers, but nothing's producing yet. So we'll see. Oh, what? What is that? All right, these are supposed to be patty pans. That looks like a cucumber. What the heck? Is there something I don't know about patty pans? Is this how they start off? Because that looks like a cucumber. Oh my gosh, I hope. Okay. This is what it said on the tag. I've got like 10 of these plants around this garden. Oh, I really hope that they didn't have the tags mixed up. Otherwise, we're gonna have so many cucumbers. I wondered why these looked so weird. Like they didn't look like they were bushing out like a squash plant does. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Are these all cucumbers? Okay, unless there's some secret about patty pans that I don't know because I've never grown them before, please tell me. Please tell me that they're patty pans and this is just how they start off, because that looks a lot like a cucumber. This was totally on the packages. I'm just gonna be overrun with all the cucumbers. Like this is one here, got more down there. The red noodle beans are taking a while too. They've kind of looked like this for the last week, like they're not doing much. Rose, spaghetti squash. So this is the only nice one so far. I'm dealing with the blossom end rot on these two. So help me out, folks, what's going on? We did notice vine borers one day, and so we're trying this thing out with the tin foil. We wrapped tin foil all around the base of the vines and underground, and then buried that with dirt to help prevent the vine borers. I don't know if they had already gotten in here, and if there are borers in the vines, I haven't tried to do surgery yet to find any. Oh. Please tell me that's not cucumbers. This is gonna be really lovely and filled out with zinnias. You know, this is supposed to be a patty pan also. This one came around like way early in the season. My mom started this one and she brought it over. And this looks way different from that to that. And these have the big orange typical squash leaves, and these have tiny little yellow flowers. I think I'm just gonna have cucumbers everywhere. Really pretty okra. So that's starting to grow. Okra like the heat. All the zinnias are budding up. So yeah, these are all my other squashes down here. So these should be zucchinis. Again, dealing with blossom end rot. I've been picking these off. So yeah, these don't look as well. You can see the leaves are kind of yellowing a little bit. They don't have the dark green foliage like the other zucchini does. And there's another rotting one. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that one will live. Been kind of disappointing to see how poorly these have been doing so far. But I'm hopeful maybe it was just a fluke of the early season and they're gonna start taking off here. Same thing with the yellow squash. These have also been having the same problem. Not too much water because we're not getting any rain. These plants right here look pretty good as far as their foliage goes. And then the one on the end here is pretty small and dinky. So I don't know if maybe it's also a soil thing. I mean, it's the same soil, but this area over here was a lot wetter before we put all the mulch down. When we tilled, It was really, really muddy in here because it is on a hill and everything kind of went to here. I'm not sure. But, oh, yeah. All right, so we're getting somewhere with the yellow squash. That definitely grew since yesterday, so it's growing. Oh. I mean, this plant's loaded with them. I mean, they are loaded. They keep rotting, so I hope that they actually live this time. Got one of those squash noodle spiralizer thingies in anticipation of being like overrun with zucchini and yellow squash so I could like make noodles with them. There is none. There is none. We're at the beginning of July and there's still no zucchini and yellow squash. Hopefully there are now. Looks like it's starting to grow. I hope so. So these pumpkin plants are also overrunning, taking up this whole area. This whole trellis. A little bit of yellowing on some leaves that I've been trying to pick off. Oh, you little butthead. Yeah. See those bugs? Those are squash bugs. Those will also kill your plants. Gross. Oh, are they made? They're mating now too. See those? You want to kill them. That's probably why this is... jerks. And Japanese beetles. What are you gonna do, right? You get something, it's better than nothing. Right, the berries. Let's talk about these. Okay, so I just did a video the other day and posted it about harvesting my red raspberries, and I had a little blurb about, oh, I think these are black raspberries, and I looked into it, and yes, they are black raspberries, and come to find out they're actually pretty rare. I didn't realize that. I didn't really know anything about it, but I looked into it. And black raspberries need the right kind of conditions to grow. And Oregon is one of those places where you'll have lots of black raspberries. But it also mentioned Ohio as one of them. So they are native to Ohio and they're more difficult to grow. And I have noticed that the bushes that I have of these, they don't reproduce as well. They don't send off shoots as much as the red raspberries, as you can see. All that. So it makes sense. Really high in anthocyanins. It looks like there is a lot of studies being done as far as using these for like medicinal things, treatments for cancers and things of that nature. So really interesting. Definitely look into it. See if they grow in your area. Yeah, if you think about it, how often do you see black raspberries at your grocery stores? I don't. I can't ever think of a time I've seen that. I see black berries, but those are different. These are black raspberries. Oh my gosh, you critters. I have set up Japanese beetle traps and they are still here. What the heck? The raspberries are, ooh, look at them. I was gonna pick raspberries this morning, but I decided to do a garden tour instead. They are full. Okay, YouTube friends, well, that wraps it up for today's garden tour, our 5th one of the season. This is what's going on. I mean, lots of changes, good and bad. I think my biggest discovery today is that I might have 10 cucumber plants growing amongst the squash, so that's cool. I don't even know what to say about that. It's getting hot. So thanks for hanging out with me today through this garden tour, and we'll be coming at you with another one soon, so stay tuned for that. And please subscribe to our channel, Sandals and Steel Toes. Like this video and also leave a comment letting me know how your garden's doing too, and I'll reply back. And as always, do something that you love today. I started my morning in my garden and I love that. Thank you everyone. Have a great day and a happy summer. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.